On a side note, welcome everybody. We're just doing some candid videos, no scripts. The odds of him beating me in this game are 0, by the way.
Undefeated right here.
So we want to talk about something. We're always trying to figure out a way to add as much value, tactical, relevant, comprehensive value as possible. Because a lot of content out there is not that valuable. It's very fluffy. So we want to be the people that really bring you the best content possible online. So we want to talk about our biggest breakthroughs. It took us from 6 to 7 figures, because it's one thing getting the 6 figures. It's tough to maintain it, but to get the 7 figures and maintain it, it's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different way of thinking. So we want to share our breakthroughs. So we're each going to go through the one thing that made the biggest difference from going from 6 to 7 figures, in hopes that you're at 6 figures and in hopes you get to 7, or in hopes that if you're at 40, 50, 60K, helps you get to 100K. And if you're not making money right now, let me tell you this. There is such a big transfer of money right now. It's amazing. I know 14 and 15-year-olds. I know 14 and 50-year-olds making $500,000 plus a year, and I know broke 40-year-olds. So age is irrelevant. It's all about what you do and who you know. So let's start with you, Austin. What's the biggest, if you could think about, you had a corporate job, you quit that because obviously you couldn't stand your boss, you went in debt, and then you traveled and got the money back, then made 7 figures. If you had to narrow it down to the one, not 5, the one thing that made the jump.
By far, the first thing that comes to mind is like, you can muscle your way to that first 100K, right? Like you can get to $10,000 a month.
Just by more hours.
Just by more hours, just by grit, just by hustling and selling and doing something and doing one thing. But to get to the next level, the biggest thing that I found for sure is knowing your numbers. And this is something that's boring. There's a few boring things that I talk about. Systems and processes, hiring, and knowing your numbers. But those 3 things are so important to get to 7 figures, and they're the same things that we're focusing on now to get to $5 million in the next 12 months, and then to get to $10 million the year after. So if you know your numbers inside and out, you take out all emotion. And ultimately the goal of a business that we're all in is really to figure out how we can put in $10,000 and turn out $40,000 like that. And the only way that we can get there is by knowing our numbers inside and out, by having that confidence, by being able to see where the bottleneck is. So when people come into our inner circle or one of our high-end programs, we're really helping them understand where they're at. We know where they want to go. How do we bridge that gap? The way that we bridge that gap is by identifying the key numbers in their business. So knowing your numbers, knowing your KPIs, your key performance indicators, knowing those critical leading indicators that are ultimately going to drive your results. These are
you guys hearing
the
balls keep dropping in? That's me.
Well, I'm next, and I'm going to run the show. But the main thing is to figure out what are those few numbers, maybe 2 or 3 numbers that you really need to know. And again, this is a boring thing, and most people want to talk about making money and whatnot. If you really want to make big money, you need to know your numbers inside and out. So that's my biggest breakthrough, and I want to throw it back over to you, Peter. Talk about yours, like making that leap. What got you here will not get you there, right? So what's that thing?
Well, he needs to keep shooting because he's down.
What I realized, Austin got behind. What I realized though, bottom line is you can't get to 7 figures doing more of what got you 6 figures. That's what I had to think about. So the biggest breakthrough for me, it's kind of twofold. It's focusing on your strengths and your area of genius and hiring the right people. And making sure that you hire people that complement your weaknesses, knowing exactly who you need, but also at the same time, you have to really know yourself at the highest level. If you want to get to 7 figures, you have to drop the need to be liked, you have to not fear people, you have to really know who you are and know who you need, whether it's a marketing person, executive assistant. All the multimillionaires I know, all the ones I met, they're only dead focused on their strengths and what they love doing and what they're excellent at. Everything else is delegated. My friend Ryan Blair, he has everything delegated. He doesn't know how to turn on his TV. But the reality is he knows exactly how to execute in the best areas. He's a great writer, he's a great delegator, he's a great business builder, he's a great strategist, but he doesn't focus on things he doesn't want to do or he's not good at. So that's my biggest breakthrough, is just building the right team. I'm only focused on my strengths now and nothing else. And if I had to say one more, it's just focusing on specialized knowledge and maximizing the information you get that's relevant to your vision. There's so much information out there that people are so focused on information overload and they trick themselves. Instead of executing what they learn, they will trick themselves and they'll read more and study more without actually executing. So when you get to that 6-figure plus mark, you gotta focus on the things that really are most relevant and get the best possible information to take action on that's gonna 10x your growth, cut your learning curve in half, and get you to that next level. So it's just protecting your time and getting the right team and making sure that you only take advice from people you trade places with and get the right information from the best. So Mark, I know you're shooting. The one thing from 6 to 7, I think I can guess what you're gonna say because I know what you're known for in the world and how crazy your network is.
Which is why I'll...
But what do you think, the number one thing from 6 to 7?
So I'm a 3, you're up. One of the biggest things, I mean, there's like a laundry list of things that have made a big difference. He thinks I'm probably gonna say something about networking, and that's true. Network has made a big difference, but I'll say something that most people maybe wouldn't expect. And that is, don't think about going from making 5K a month to 10K a month to 15K a month to 20K a month to 30K a month. Instead, challenge yourself to have a completely different operating philosophy of how you think, because going from 5K a month to 10K a month to 20K a month to 30K a month, you're thinking the same, you're just making tiny differences. I like to, and what helped me get to 7 figures was think about, what do I need to do for my team? What do I need to do for my habits, my rituals, my delegation, for my, for my marketing, to operate at a 6-figure a month level? Because if you're constantly just thinking about, okay, how do I go from 10K a month to 15K a month to 20K a month, you're constantly thinking about small stuff, small improvements, small delegations, small tiny changes. And I think the difference between 6 and 7 figures is a lot of small things, but you have to have a big change in your mindset. And it's not a 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K month. It's thinking about, what does a $200,000 month look like if I had to make it happen? Who would I have to partner with? Who would I have to learn from? What type of resources and different things would I have to be connected to? And so what helped me was I wrote on my wall 50K, then 100K, then 200K, and I started focusing on what would I have to do to make that number happen this month. And you totally change the way that you operate your business, because it's not about how do I make another 5K or 10K this month, and then how do I make another 5K or 10K next month. Those are consistent small additions. Look for a moonshot. You can easily go from 20K a month to 100K a month in 1 month. It's very easy. I know a lot of people that literally have gone from 10K to 100K in a month instantly, and now they're 7-figure people from 100K or 200K. They exponentially 5x or 10x their business, and you're never gonna 5x or 10x your business if you're constantly looking to increase your monthly from 20K to 30K to 40K to 50K. You have to literally think, what would it look like if I were to make $3 million this year, and then shift every area of your life, your business, and your thinking. That's my tip. And I'll have another one when we go around the table.
Love it. You didn't even say network. He has a $1 billion network and is connected with some of the world's most elite entrepreneurs, billionaires. And who are some people you've interviewed just in the last year? Just a couple people.
We got Tillman Fertitta. He's got 65,000 employees. Just bought the Houston Rockets for $2.2 billion in cash.
Damon John.
He's a rock star. Damon John from Shark Tank. I've got Mark Cuban coming up. John Paul, who owns tequila and is a multi-billionaire. John Asseroff. Got my boy Peter. We got to get Austin in the studio.
So we've interviewed, and I've interviewed Ryan Blair, and we have Tim Ferriss coming up, and Ariana Huffington, Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Eric Thomas. We've interviewed the elite, and we've taken what they've done, and we've studied and articulated what makes sense for us, and we've taken action on that. So that's the bottom line: is study the greats, but take action. And I hope you guys got some value from these breakthroughs. If anything, just pick one thing that you learn that's most relevant to you and your business, and go execute at the highest level. Because if you out execute people, that's when you're gonna change the game. But do it in a strategic way, and don't overwhelm yourself, because complexity is the enemy of execution. So you guys heard it first. Peter Voogd, Mark Lack, Austin Netzley. Any other final words for these game changers watching?
Stay tuned. We're talking all about scale. We've got a lot to share with you. We've been through a lot of the pain so that you don't have to go through it. All right, it's time. It's time to level up. It's time to think bigger, and we're here to help.
And listen, the reason we're doing this is, it's one thing to succeed yourself, but when you get to a certain level, it's not about succeeding yourself. I get more fulfillment, and so do we just talked about it, helping other people, creating real game changers, because there's way too many followers out there And we want people that really want to change the game, level up, create a legacy. So that's why we're helping you. And
I want to jump in on this because we decided that we wanted to film this while we were playing a game of pool, because I think one of the biggest mistakes young entrepreneurs make is they hear about the hustle, the work hard. And I think, yeah, you gotta work hard, but the difference between 6 and 7 figures is working smart.
100%.
And having fun in the process. If you're not having fun and you're thinking, I'm gonna work 18 hours a day to make $1 million, and then what? If you're not enjoying the process, then you're gonna make money and be miserable. And so the reason why we wanted to film this and give value while playing a game of pool is because you can impact people's lives. You can make money and have fun. You can work less and make an impact more. And so lesson for you is make sure that on the hustle, the grind, that you're having fun, because I think the best part of entrepreneurship is having fun with your buddies, making an impact in the world, and getting financially compensated to do that. It's about having fun on the journey, and that's really the most important part there, is the journey.
I think we're in the Hollywood Hills playing pool in a mansion with an infinity pool overlooking all of LA.
Waiting for our mastermind.
We have a mastermind happening. I mean, that's actually closed right now. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it's closed, so you guys, but anyways, it depends on when they're watching. No, it's closed. You can't get in. But we're not promoting anything. We have no agenda except to give value to you. But the point is, he's right. If I know a lot of millionaires and people at the 100 million plus, and they have every possible financial accomplishment that you could ever have, but they're miserable and frustrated because they're so tied up in their business. You want to be able to create success and also have fulfillment, because the ultimate failure is success with no fulfillment. So that's our challenge, is do it the right way, base it off your values, take this information and use it and create a better life, and then go help somebody else. The purpose of leadership is not to create followers, it's to create more leaders who create leaders. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for investing in yourself and betting on yourself. We'll see you guys in the next video.